allemaal en welkom bij een nieuwe aflevering van Yo Welcome. Vorige keer heb je gezien hoe we samen met onze gasten 2 heerlijke cocktails hebben gemaakt. Maar vandaag zijn we bij de studio Abroad, waar we 2 hele muzikale mensen gaan ontmoeten. Namelijk Shandon en Stijn. Ze gaan ons meer vertellen over hun muzikale leven en ik heb er heel veel zin in. Laten we naar binnen gaan. Let's go!
Sorry, and what key are you playing right now?
Hey guys!
It's an A, right?
How are you doing? I'm gonna just sit very awkwardly beside you
Of course,
guys.
no problem.
How are you doing?
Good.
Great?
Great?
Yeah.
So, we're here in the studio, and Shandon, I already heard a lot about you, but can you please tell a bit about yourself?
I'm Shandon, and I've came here from Austin, Texas, to play music. Changing the backdrop and playing to different audiences is kind of what my dad used to do. So I kind of took that same thing and he went to, Helsinki area. I came to Amsterdam.
That's awesome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And Stijn, for you the same thing. Who are you?
I'm Stijn. I come all the way from Tilburg to play a song and a few songs and have a conversation with Shandon right here. I study in Den Bosch. I study ondernemen at Avans, and I run my own vintage clothing web shop.
That's great. Well guys, I rudely disturbed you guys, but I'm gonna sit in the audio room. Now I want to hear everything about your stories and about your guitar playing skills.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right.
I'll leave you guys to it.
Great.
Have fun.
Anyways, yeah. What sparked your interest?
In music in general?
Yeah.
Or?
What made that fire light up?
It was for me the top 2000. It is in Dutch in the Netherlands. It's a list where every single Dutch person can vote, and then we get one list of 2000 songs. And number 1 is always Bohemian Rhapsody. And I got into music by listening to Bohemian Rhapsody and not understanding it. I thought like, how can so many people think this is the best song ever? And I kept playing it, until I understood. And I thought like, yeah, this is great, you know. And I've started looking more into Queen. And songs like I Want to Break Free, We Are Champions, We Will Rock You.
Of course.
And yeah, that's how I got into Queen. And eventually from Queen I went to ABBA. Actually,
oh man, you've got some. That's all good.
Yeah, I
ABBA.
listened a lot of ABBA. Really
great
fan. And from ABBA I went to all kinds of metal and rock, and from that to folk mostly right now.
There's some great bands to folk.
I really wanted a guitar that sounded like the guitar of Brian May, and there are actually a lot of guitarists that tried that, but they didn't really did a good job at it. Yeah. But I thought like, let's start at like making the guitar of oak, like Brian May did.
That's what Brian did. Okay, so that guitar is made of oak.
Yeah, he built it from an old fireplace from the 17th century.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, an old piece of oak, and so I thought like, that sounds great, so I'll try it as well. And I built this guitar from oak, and I understood why nobody actually does it, because it's very heavy.
Oh yeah, no,
you have to try actually.
I understand that. Yeah, no, it feels like a Les Paul. What I was telling you.
Yeah, it's very solid.
But the thing that's cool about it is like, because you know this, I mean, a lot of your tone, probably over 50%, is in your hands.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it's good to have a good guitar that's quality.
Yeah, well, you can't blame your guitar anymore. If you have a very good guitar, or
sure,
when your stuff is just right, you can't blame that anymore. It's just you and your playing. That's,
and people hear music differently. Everyone, I could play everyone something, and they get out of it what they get out of it. Everyone's different. I was going to say, because one of my favorite quotes that Cobain used to say was, doesn't matter how sloppy something is as long as it's got passion. And I believe that so heartily. Because you can get good things and learn stuff out of mediocre, bad musicians. You can know what not to do, but you also can go, hey, that guy, the way he approached that song, that was cool. Yeah. You can get stuff out of everything if you just pay attention. It's really about the passion and the love for it, you know, because I'll tell you right now, you're going to be broke before you see any money. Just the way it works. Yeah. I mean, unless you're an overnight sensation, but still, even that overnight sensation, there's work to that, you know. So as long as it's from the heart and you do it because you love it, then you'll never work a day in your life, if you get what I'm saying.
You do it for fun, yeah.
That's right.
And I really think you can hear it when a person really does it from his heart, plays his emotions, you can really hear it.
I could go like this, or I could go. But even that's got an emotion. So, you know, like, every day's your mood and it comes out. It just comes out. Isn't that trippy? That's what I love about music. Yeah. Yeah. And another one's gone, and another one's gone, another one bites the dust.
Under Pressure, it's...
Oh, yeah. Who was the other band that ripped that song off? Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice, yeah.
And I saw them on TV going, no, it's different. Ours goes ding 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 dun, ding ding ding. Theirs goes ding 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 dun. And I was like, don't see the difference. He tried to rationalize the difference, and it was the exact same melody. And that's what's funny. But there is, you know, there's only 12 notes. So you start over, but at the same time you...
it's a totally different song, actually.
But you know how many songs, listen to all the great stuff out of 12 notes that have been created.
Yeah,
so you do have the AC/DC, you know, whatever, and you can, you know, you can do that same formula. Bon Scott. And that's...
They play everything in A, right? AC/DC?
Yeah, and they're very bluesy. I mean, you know, that's another great band. It's another great band, you know? I mean, Angus Young does all that stuff, and he doesn't miss a lick, you know? I just rolls around, and you'd think rolling around, he'd go playing missing licks, and he's just like if he was standing up playing it. You know?
Yeah, but for example, Angus Young, when you see him on the stage, you believe that guy, you feel that guy, you know the emotion. You know?
Here's the difference I didn't elaborate on. When it's really rocking, music plays you. You don't play music.
Yeah, yeah, and you can see that as well. Yeah.
The way he's just, the sweat's just. I mean, just when it's really channeling that, it's playing you. You're not playing it. I mean, you are playing it, but it's transitioning so much, and there's so much coolness that it kind of just takes over.
For a very long time, I played electric guitar like an classical guitar, so I put it like this and then bend it over backwards, and I had this bench here for my feet, and I just played electric guitar like this instead of what most electric guitar players do, is like this. So yeah, there are some bits that stuck with me, but mostly the tears from crying, from not wanting to go to the lessons.
I know.
But yeah, I'm actually glad my parents.
That's what I mean. There's an underlining goodness to that.
Yeah,
even if you didn't have, you know what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I think if I never started acoustic guitar lessons, that I maybe wasn't really
You'd be
going
that
to
much
look
more
into
behind,
music.
wouldn't you?
Sorry?
Or not behind, but you would be not that much more.
Yeah, maybe.
I know it helped in some sense.
It would be a very big step to go from not having any musical experience to play music than when I had actually some lessons in acoustic guitar.
Yeah. What are you putting together, or you know, the last year or so? What have you been?
Well, with that high school band, we actually won a competition for other high school bands. Okay. We were the best high school band of Tilburg, I believe. Okay. And then we went to a festival Allegria. That was actually pretty cool. And from there was a guy that actually asked us to record a few of our songs.
There you go.
And yeah, we still have to do that, but that's what I'm busy with right now. Yeah. And there were songs that I wrote them myself.
So do you have a band with you, or can you, in the studio, can you do it all yourself?
I could do it myself.
Can you play bass? So when you're going, you know...
Yeah, I play...
Then you grab the bass and you go...
Yeah. I actually play guitar, I play the bass, a little bit of drumming, and yeah, so I could do the whole song by myself. Yeah, of course I prefer it with my band, but
well, because the band gives you different things that you might not play.
Yeah.
Like and if they're good, they give you, it's that soup, it's that blender of that smoothie, you know, just here it is, you know. And your influences too, you put all your influences in there, you know, Devo, Kiss, Black Sabbath, whatever it is, and and there's your music, you know. That's the good way of looking at it.
And also I find it very great if there are some people who think with me, because I know what I want to play, but...
you have to have people on the same page. Yeah. If you're in a band and the other guy's thinking about, oh, I just... as an opportunist and I just want to be in a band and then I'm going to hop from band to band to climb the ladder, it's good to know that beforehand, you know, but it is great to have people, like-minded people that'll think the same. Actually, all those good bands, you know, I mean, even in the beginning when I started this band Pariah, we were friends that started off that actually got popular.
Yeah.
And so we just, you
But
know.
I believe you needed chemistry because you started as friends.
Oh, you need all good bands have chemistry, first of all. But you could also, if you take the time to practice, see, have you ever heard of this saying? 1 gig is worth 1,000 practices. And do you know what that means? That means that when you get up on stage and you have people in front of you, you know exactly what works and exactly what doesn't right then and there. And then you go back and you go, oh man, song number 3, the crowd went crazy. I don't know about song 4 and 5, but boy, and then 6 and 7, they were just. So you get what I'm saying. You start to hone your craft or your songs to where it's just what you pick all your best songs. Because you know what we think, we like a lot of our own songs, but really it's the people out there that'll decide. And then they'll say, oh man, that second to last song you played, what was that? What do you plan to do in the future? Just record?
Well, actually, I really want to dive deeper into songwriting because for me the best way of putting my emotion in music is to write songs actually and translate my feelings, my emotions into a song. And to do that right, I actually think that is the hardest thing in music, but the most valuable thing as well.
Yes, songwriting is where your bread and butter comes from.
Yeah. But
keep going.
I really find it hard when, back to the feedback, when someone says, you have to do it a bit like this or like this, because it's my feeling what I'm bringing to the crowd.
Yeah.
And I don't really care how you want it, but that is how I'm feeling, you know, and this is my the truest way of it.
You do the best you can, and you hope people jump on the train for the ride. That's really it. Now, people are going to have critiques, and you know, I've heard about some Dutch. The Dutch people can sometimes be like, I don't like that, I like this, but I don't mind that. I like the honesty. In America,
of course. I actually wanted
you don't
to
really get that. You get like, I like it, and then it kind of go, I like it. But I'd
I
rather be
think
straight up. Do you like it or not? I don't care, because I'm not here. I'm here to play music and do my thing, regardless if everyone likes it or doesn't like it.
Yeah, I actually wanted to study music at the Herman Brood Academy. It's the studio where Martin Garrix comes from and a lot of famous musicians.
Yeah.
And I was there with, I applied to songwriting, and I performed some songs of me, and the first critique the jury had was like, you have to put more sounds in it and more effects, and and I was really fast, I made the conclusion like, I don't want to be on a school that teaches me how to do my own music, and maybe that doesn't really make me a good musician, but for me music is about translating my feelings into something that I can share with people, and when I have to adjust it to a crowd and that they like it, then it's really not fun for me anymore.
Okay, because that's a B, right? I'm asking you, but
This is a B.
Yeah.
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 We weten nu al een hele hoop over Stijn, maar kijk ook naar de volgende aflevering om meer te weten te komen over Shandon.
Everything's cool, everything's fine.